Part 6. The Buildings. When I decided to build on this planet with its spectacular azure waters, the first thing I thought of was Greek Cycladic architecture. The iconic Greek coastal towns with their whitewashed walls and blue dome roofs evoke a certain laid-back mood that matched this build perfectly. So I did some Google searching of images of places like Santorini to get a bit of inspiration. I managed to use the colour glitch to get my stone domes blue and my walls white with a streak of terracotta orange. I've put a link in the description for the colour swapping glitch. I wanted to have the walls a different colour to the surrounding streets to give the impression that they are painted that way. The other decision that I made early on was to make the buildings smaller than average. I did this for a couple of reasons. First, I wanted to make the village to scale with the residents. I made the Zaratanian project small, so the whole town will be built at their scale. The doors are lower because they're shorter. This also had the added bonus that if players visited the town, they couldn't enter all of the buildings unless I built them specifically accessible. This meant that I didn't have to waste excess parts and time decorating every single house interior. Also, I had it in mind that not all bases should be built for us players. I love the idea that this is a place built for these Gek. So when you visit, you get the sense that they are just living their lives before, during and after your visit. And players shouldn't be able to just walk into someone's house uninvited. I wanted to make the buildings roughly cylindrical, so the best I could do without using too many parts was to lay a small hexagon with small triangles, then free place another triangle at one of the hexagon's points using a small square floor. I then built up 3 short walls high, placed a floor on each wall, deleted the walls and placed my regular walls and doors. I used a couple of half arches to make the gap in the wall for the door, and then used a simple stone doorway. At this height, they are slightly too low for us, but the right height for a little Zaratanian. The domes are scaled down to fit the roof with the scale glitch, links in the description. I used a locker at the right height to free place the dome on top, but not before sticking a lantern in there to provide a bit of light from inside. The doors are either wall hanging flags, scaled down walls, or scaled down roof parts, again using the lockers to mount them flush with the door frame. As I mentioned, the lower buildings were often small and simple, with the second tier being more complex. I used more decorative parts like these ornate door frames for them to indicate their status. Only a few of the buildings have windows and interiors, but it hopefully creates the illusion that most of the buildings are occupied. We just can't see in them. Tended pot plants on windowsills have the same effect. I wanted to stagger and vary the height of the domes to break up the sightlines a bit, so I added rows of short walls to the top sometimes to give a bit of extra height. The windows are made by mounting a scaled down door frame and a short wall for the windowsill on a locker. I nearly always use lockers and boxes for this kind of thing because, unlike many building parts, they have no collision issues, meaning you can place something on a locker, delete the locker, and the item doesn't delete with it. Plus, they have good vertical and horizontal surfaces with no anomalies for mounting things on. I highly recommend using them. The blue shutters are colour glitched scaled wooden short walls, put in place with a small short wall. I had to use the short wall to get it flush with the frame and still be able to delete it later. The only building that breaks with the colour scheme is the King's Residence. Adjacent to the entrance to the Citadel, his building has elaborate walls and domes of royal blue and gold to match his throne room. He also has the best views. Curious travellers can peek in his windows to see his dining room and bedroom, all very fancy. The white pillows are made by colour glitching a pale grey and white palette from the circular neon sign to a cement bag. And the windows are scaled down wood frame windows, free placed using the lockers again. The window frames are scaled down upside down stone door arches. The citadel itself utilises the original 64-sided circle. The ornate pattern inside was accidentally formed by layered circular window stone walls, and the roof is made by using the new skylight roof part. It creates these beautiful shadows during the day, which was a pleasant surprise. I was ready to delete every second skylight if necessary, if I ran out of building parts. I'll come back to the details of the interior later, but now it's time to populate our town.